Line 47, she said quietly, setting down his coffee. The billionaire looked up, confused. What did you just say? Your code, she replied, voice trembling but certain. It's calling itself. That's why your system keeps crashing. For a moment, the only sound in the cafe was the rain tapping the windows. Daniel Cross, owner of a billion-dollar tech empire, stared at the waitress who'd just solved the problem his entire team had failed to fix. She couldn't have seen his screen long enough. She wasn't supposed to. Emma's heart pounded. She'd spent years hiding her genius behind a brown apron, terrified someone would recognize the name she'd buried. But now she'd crossed the line between safety and exposure. Who was she really? And what secret could possibly make a billionaire beg a waitress for help? Stay to the end. You won't believe what happens next. If stories like this move you, subscribe now to Canada's Heartfelt Tales, where every story proves that courage can come from the most unexpected places. Under the hum of the cafe's neon light, Daniel's breath came out uneven. He stared at her like she'd just cracked open a safe no one else could even find. Who are you? He asked again, quieter this time, as if afraid of the answer. Emma glanced toward the counter where her manager was arguing with a supplier. No one, she murmured. Just someone who serves coffee. But Daniel didn't believe that. He turned the laptop toward her. The error still blinked in red, angry and relentless. Show me, he said. Please. Her hands hesitated over the keyboard, trembling just slightly. It had been years since she'd touched code like this. Years since she'd trusted herself to fix anything. But something in his voice, raw, almost desperate, pushed her past the fear. In seconds, her fingers found rhythm again, typing with the quiet precision of someone born to solve problems that terrified others. The cursor blinked once. The error vanished. Daniel froze. You. He didn't even finish. He was staring at the green text glowing across the screen like salvation. That's impossible. Emma stepped back, heart racing. You should update your encryption protocol. Whoever wrote that loop wanted it to crash. Wait, Daniel said, standing up. How did you? I really have to get back to work, she interrupted, clutching the coffee pot like a shield. She walked away before he could speak again, but her pulse wouldn't slow. She'd broken her rule. She'd let the world see her again. That night, the rain had turned to mist. Emma left the cafe, pulling her hood tighter, but the sleek black car parked outside made her stop. Daniel leaned against it, arms crossed, hair damp from the drizzle. I'm not here to bother you, he said gently. I'm here because you saved my company today. She shook her head. I didn't save anything. I just fixed a mistake. Daniel opened his laptop. The same code appeared, but this time there were more lines. Then fix this. Her instinct screamed no. Every step toward him felt like walking back into the past she'd tried to bury. But then she saw it again. The error, the deliberate flaw, the pattern. Her chest tightened. This isn't a mistake, she whispered. Someone's doing this on purpose. Daniel's expression darkened. You mean sabotage? She nodded slowly. Someone inside your system planted this. The signatures are too consistent. Whoever they are, they know your architecture. Daniel rubbed the bridge of his nose. 3 months of failures. I thought it was bad luck. He looked at her. Help me find who's doing this. I'll pay whatever you want. She laughed, but it came out bitter. You can't afford what I've already lost. He blinked, caught off guard. Then don't do it for me. Do it for yourself. The silence stretched, filled only by the soft hiss of rain. She saw sincerity in his face, something rare in men like him. For a fleeting second, she wanted to trust him. Fine, she said finally. But if I do this, I do it my way. Inside Daniel's headquarters, the world changed. The air was colder, the lights sharper. Screens lined every wall, glowing with streams of data. Engineers moved in silence, their eyes darting nervously as Emma followed Daniel through the main floor. She caught fragments of whispered words, Waitress, outsider liability. Daniel stopped at a glass door marked restricted access. He placed his palm on the scanner. The door slid open. "Welcome to the war room," he said. Emma stared at the array of monitors inside, each one pulsing with live code and system diagnostics. "And you trust me here?" "I trust results," Daniel said. "And I've seen yours." She took a deep breath and sat down. Within minutes, she disappeared into the screen's glow, tracing file movements, cross-checking access logs, isolating inconsistencies. Hours passed unnoticed. Her focus was absolute, like slipping into another world, the only one where she still felt whole. At 2:37 a.m. she froze. "Found it." Daniel leaned over her shoulder. "What is it?" "A timed exploit," she said. "Set to activate tomorrow during your product launch. It'll wipe your entire platform, then leak encrypted user data. You'd lose everything." Daniel's face went pale. "Can you stop it?" "Yes. But..." She zoomed in on the code. Her stomach dropped. "This pattern, it's my father's design. His exact structure." Daniel blinked. "Your father?" She looked up at him, eyes fierce. "He was a professor. They said he sold code to foreign governments. He didn't. Someone stole his work, framed him, and sent him to prison. And this is his code." The revelation hit Daniel like a punch. "Then whoever's behind this, they're the same person who ruined him." Emma nodded. "And they're still inside your company." They combed through records for hours, tracing access points and server timestamps. Finally, one name emerged. Rita Flores, Daniel's co-founder and closest friend. Daniel's voice cracked. "No, Rita built this company with me. She's family." "Family doesn't frame innocent people," Emma said quietly. He scrolled through her financial records. The truth hit hard. Rita had been quietly shorting company stock for months, ready to cash in when the crash came. "She's betting against me," he whispered. Emma turned to him. "Then let's make her lose the bet." The plan was dangerous. They'd let the virus trigger during the launch, redirect the data through a hidden server, and capture every keystroke she made. One wrong line and the company would collapse for real. The next morning, the ballroom shimmered with gold light and camera flashes. Reporters filled every corner. Daniel stood on stage, mask of confidence perfectly in place. Emma hid backstage, laptop open, heartbeat steady. He began the presentation. "Today marks the future of streaming. AI that learns you better than you know yourself." At precisely 2 p.m. the system glitched. Gasps spread through the audience. Rita sat front row, calm, smug. Daniel's voice faltered. "It appears we're having a minor issue." Backstage, Emma's fingers flew. "She's in," she said through the earpiece. "She's executing the payload now." "Record everything," Daniel whispered. Rita's smile wavered as the system seemed to crash, but Emma's trap was already in place. Every command Rita sent was mirrored and logged. And when the screen behind Daniel suddenly stabilized, displaying flawless data, the room erupted in applause. Rita's face turned ghostly pale. Her phone buzzed violently in her hand. The app she'd used to sabotage him was now broadcasting her IP, her signature, her guilt. Daniel walked off the stage, applause still echoing, and stopped right in front of her. "We need to talk," he said loudly enough for the cameras. Rita's jaw clenched. "Daniel, not here." "Oh, I think here is perfect," he said, holding up his phone. "Care to explain why you just tried to destroy my company?" Her facade cracked. "You can't prove anything." A voice from behind cut in, calm, sharp. "Actually, we can." Emma stepped out from backstage, her presence electric. The crowd hushed as she connected her laptop to the big screen. Code filled the display. Timestamps, user IDs, encrypted trails, all leading back to Rita. "This is your digital footprint," Emma said evenly. "You uploaded the exploit, you executed it, and you profited from it. But here's the twist. You also reused stolen algorithms belonging to Professor Michael Carter. Gasps rippled through the audience. Rita's face twisted with fury. "Who are you to accuse me?" Emma met her eyes. "I'm his daughter." The silence shattered into chaos. Reporters surged forward. Security stepped in. Rita screamed something about betrayal and ownership as guards took her away. Daniel didn't speak. He just looked at Emma with a kind of stunned awe. That night, news spread faster than wildfire. Rita Flores, tech icon, celebrated entrepreneur, was under federal investigation for espionage and fraud. Her accounts were frozen. Her empire was over. 3 months later, sunlight spilled over the courthouse steps. Emma waited as a man she hadn't seen in 3 years walked out, free at last. Her father looked smaller, older, but when he saw her, his eyes filled with pride. "You did it," he whispered. "No," she said, holding his hand. "We did." Behind them, cameras flashed. Daniel stood nearby, smiling softly. "Professor Carter," he said, shaking his hand. "Welcome back. We've got work to do." And that was the moment everything came full circle. The girl who once hid behind an apron was now the CTO of one of the world's largest tech companies. Her father, now director of research. The same platform that once nearly destroyed them would become a force for good. But before the press could move on, one headline hit every screen. Billionaire's betrayal. Insider sabotage uncovered by cafe waitress genius. The internet lit up. Millions watched the clip of Emma exposing Rita live. People from all walks of life commented, "That girl deserves everything she got. Justice served hot. Never underestimate quiet people." In the boardroom weeks later, Daniel looked across the table. "You know," he said, smiling, "it still feels strange calling you CTO." Emma smirked. "Better than waitress." He laughed softly. "You were never just that." For the first time she believed him. And as the camera panned over the skyline of Seattle, golden light breaking through the clouds, one truth rang clear. Sometimes the smallest voice in the room is the one that saves it. Sometimes justice doesn't arrive in a courtroom, but in a coffee cup. The city lights shimmered across the bay that night as Emma stood by the window of her new office. No longer a waitress, no longer a shadow. Screens around her glowed softly, reflecting the world she had rebuilt from pieces once stolen. Behind her, her father's laughter echoed down the hallway. Daniel's voice carried from the conference room, steady and warm. For the first time in years there was peace, but not silence. She opened her laptop and saw a new message. Security update completed. Carter protocol active. Her name, her work, her legacy. The same code that once framed her father now protected millions. She smiled, not because she'd won, but because she'd chosen not to stay invisible anymore. People still asked her how she'd done it. She never mentioned luck. She talked about courage, the quiet kind that begins when you decide to stop running from who you are. Out the window, the cafe sign across the street flickered in the rain. The same place where everything began. She whispered almost to herself, "Line 47 fixed." And for the first time it wasn't about the code. It was about healing. If this story touched your heart, take a second to like, share and subscribe to Canada's Heartfelt Tales. Your support helps us bring more true stories of hope, redemption, and the quiet strength that changes lives.